Education Foundation for years, and we've put on these faculty Follies. But now that I'm not a teacher or on any of the boards, I think it's time to pass the torch. And since you helped me with the last one, I thought it'd be nice if you took it over. You're so creative and you write so well. You'd be perfect for this job.
Oh, Jerry, I'm so honored. I mean, you're Jerry Kyle. I mean, I do know a lot about producing shows from when I was the drama coordinator at Beacon, and everyone knows I have so much free time. Of course I'll do it. I'll be honored. Thank you.
Tom, can I talk to you about something?
Sure, Jerry. What do you mean?
Well, you know, I've been involved with the foundation for a long time, and this time I asked Stacy Wright to be involved in the faculty Follies.
Yeah, I know Stacy.
I'm kind of having second thoughts. Well, you know, take for instance, have you seen her desk? It's scary. And she drops things and loses things. I heard she can't dance, so how can she help with choreography? You know, she's so busy that she's a little bit of a procrastinator. And you know what? You are a man in charge. You've done so many performances. You've got showmanship master. You're so organized. I think you would be a great one to do the faculty Follies.
Oh, Jerry. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yes, you know, I really do know what you mean about Stacy. I mean, you know, I hired her. What was I thinking? I mean, talk about a wild card. And yes, I have seen her desk and many times, and scary is the understatement. Well, I don't even think waste management would take that on. But anyway, yeah, and the poor girl, she can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm happy to take the Follies for you this year, get it off your plate, no problem. I'm honored and I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Tom.
Any show you can plan, I can plan better.
I can plan any show better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Anything you can teach, I can teach better.
I can teach anything better than you.
High school speech,
Chemistry,
was in hell.
calculus.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you're right, I can't.
I can ride an dip.
I like to eat chip dip.
I can hold a stacking.
I spend my days golfing.
I can work from morn till night.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sad.
I burst in sight.
Any ball you can hit, I can hit further.
I can hit any ball further than you.
30 yards,
50 yards,
80 yards.
90 yards. Yes, he
You know, Tom, what they say. They say that those who can't teach and those who can't become administrators.
Yeah, Stacy, I think I remember hearing that somewhere, but you know, I taught for several years and I thought it went kind of like this. Those who can do, and those who can't teach. Any weight you can lift, I can lift greater.
I can lift any weight greater than you.
20 pounds,
Now about 1.
25,
Okay, 2.
50 you can write, I can write better.
I can write anything better than you.
The handbook,
Renaissance,
my thesis,
ledger spots, IEPs, 504s, lesson plans. Always in Daytona.
no fruit in my Corona. I like to be poolside.
And I think Characters died.
I don't have a single grade.
Can you prove that?
No.
You need a hat.
I want to thank you for all that you've done here.
Thanks, but you know that it takes more than one, dear. Yes, it does.
Oh, it does. Yes, it does.
Oh, it does.
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does.
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does.
Yes, it does, does. Yes, it does, does. Yes, it Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, could I have the ushers lock those doors, because I want this to be a real captive audience. Thank you, thank you. Whew. Now that's out of the way, I want to thank all of you for coming out this afternoon. We're so happy to bring another great faculty Follies and hope you will enjoy. We would like to thank all the teachers and staff and administrators for the participation and all the hard work it takes to put something like this together. On that note, could we please have a resounding round of applause for Jerry Kumpel, who selflessly put this show together for many years. Believe me, this is certainly not a picnic, but the results benefit all of our students, so of course it is worth it. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you our guest MC for today, and that will be Mr. Andrew Edlin. He'll be your host for this afternoon, and he just has this killer Australian accent.
See me afterwards, boys. All right, take the roll briefly. Ainsley, Babcock, Cart Horse, Dint, Ellsworth Beast Major, Ellsworth Beast Minor, Fiat, Don't, Hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, yes. Plectrum, are you here? Boy, last Thursday, Plectrum, you were sitting next to hemoglobin in geography class. Question 11. Is Andorra a small European country or a species of rabbit? Hemoglobin wrote, I do not know the answer to this question. Plectrum wrote, neither do I. Cheating, Plectrum, see me later. Eric, I think you are next to show us something produced by the high school faculty staff. And according to my notes, this is done with a DVD, a computer, and a screen. It's not an easy thing performing. Next, on this phantasmagorical cornucopia of talent, we have Whatever Happened to Yes, I Can, a story of the progress from kindergarten to adulthood, performed by the Fairfield Board of Directors for the Community School District, Dr. Laurie Knoll, Jennifer Anderson, Jeremy Miller, Joe Carr, Jerry Nelson, and Kate Van Pelt.
How many of you can draw? And all hands shoot up. Did you say you're line cake?
Yes, of course we can draw.
Well, what can you draw?
Anything.
How about a dog eating a fire truck in the jungle?
Sure, how big do you want it?
How many of you can sing?
Yes, of course we can sing.
What can you sing? What if you don't know the words?
Oh, that's okay. We'll make it up as we go on.
Let's sing.
Now?
Why not? Mama told me not to come. She said.
How many of you can draw or dance? What kind of music do you like to dance to?
Any kind. Let's dance.
All right, now.
Sure, why not?
Do you like to act in plays?
Yes.
Do you play musical instruments?
Yes.
Do you write poetry?
Yes.
Can you read and write and count?
Yes. We're learning that now.
Now, try those same questions on a college audience. A few students will raise their hands when asked if they can draw or dance or sing or paint or act or play an instrument. More often than not, those who raise their hands will want to qualify their responses with their limitations.
I only dance to rock and roll.
I only sing in the shower.
I only draw conclusions.
When asked why the limitations, college students answer,
I don't have any talent.
I haven't done any of that stuff since like 3rd grade.
Who's got the time?
That's not my major.
you can imagine the responses to the same questions asked of an older audience.
Oh, is that the time?
No way. I've got another meeting.
You've got to be kidding.
Maybe after 3 martinis.
I'm way too busy.
What went wrong between kindergarten and now? What happened to yes, of course I can?
Yes. Next we have the, sorry, it's a bit dark here, it's hard to read. Looks like the Al Capones. Oh, I presume this thing called gangster rap, maybe? No, I'm not reading that right. The Acapellas. Yes, Acapellas, as in a cappella. That's very clever. Yes, very good. And I'm told that a cappella, which of course means singing without accompaniment, is now becoming incredibly popular, particularly at college level. But I think these guys were ahead of the curve. And it says that they're going to sing this song called Some Nights, with an N, nothing to do with knights with swords and that sort of thing. But you know this because it's in your program. So basically I'm telling something that you already know while they're getting ready, which I think, not quite, because you're not all there, are you? You're good. They're good.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they'd just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. What do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know anymore. This is it, boys. This is more of what we're waiting for. Why don't we break the walls already? I was never one to believe the line. Say that for the black man, boy, that we're twice as hard and a half as low. We come again to check my star. But that's alright. Mother in my bed tonight stops my thoughts from wondering just who I am, who I am, who am I, who am I? Some nights I wish that this all would end, 'cause I could use some friends for a change. And some nights I'm scared you'll forget me again. Some nights I always win, I always win. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. What do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know. So this is it? I sold my soul for this? Wash my hands of that for this? Miss my mom and dad for this? No. When I see stars, when I see stars, that's all they are. When I hear songs, they sound like this one, so come on.
Very good. I like that very much. Although, sort of accompanied, I suppose. Anyway. I don't know what to say about this next piece. It's entitled If I Weren't a Teacher, and I can't tell you who's in it because it will take too long. Almost everybody, as far as I can tell. So, teacher.
If I weren't a teacher, I know what I would be. If I weren't a teacher,
A band leader I would be. March it left, march it right, stop and toot my horn.
a teacher, I know what I would be. If I weren't a teacher,
A lifeguard I would be. Mouth to mouth resuscitate. What a way to get a date. Mouth to mouth resuscitate. What a way to get a date.
if I weren't a teacher, I know what I would be. If I weren't a teacher,
A shortstop I would be. I'd swing my bat and catch that ball and slide into home. I'd ride to bat and hesitate. What a way to get a date.
if I weren't a teacher, I know what I would be. If I weren't a teacher,
A rock star I would be. I'd raise the roof and rock this house and strum on my guitar. I'd raise the roof and rock this house and strum on my guitar.
if I weren't a teacher, I know what I would be. If I weren't a teacher,
Cab driver I would be. Hey, your fare, hop in back. Hold on for your life. Hey, your fare, hop in back. Hold on for your life.
a teacher, I know what I would be. If I weren't a teacher,
Well, mailman I will be. Through rain and snow and biting dogs, the mail I deliver.
I'd raise the fare and rock this house and strum on my guitar.
if I weren't a teacher, I know what I would be. If I weren't a teacher,
A carpenter I'd be. Nail it left, nail it right, nail it to the car. Now it's the fare, then I'll be out and strum on my guitar.
if I weren't a teacher, I know what I would be. If I weren't a teacher,
A cheerleader I would be. I'd shake my palms and kick real high and jump up to the sky. I'd shake my palms and jump up to the
teacher, I know what I would be. If I weren't a teacher,
A country singer is what I'd be. My man is drunk, my dog ran off, my
particularly be cleaning mirrors. I mean, I can really see myself doing that. Concerto for singing chicken.
some things you see in your life that make a lasting impression. I do honestly believe that was one of them.
Next, 9 to 5, Shauna Applegate. She tells me that Mr. Ealing didn't think he was going to be part of this show. Wrong.
I'm like bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn, stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping down the street. The traffic starts jumping and folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living and barely getting by. It's all taken, there's no giving. You just use your mind and then they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. 9 to 5. For service and devotion, you would think that I would deserve that promotion. Want to move ahead, but the boss won't seem to let me. I swear sometimes that man is out to get me. They let you dream just to watch them shatter. You're just a step on the boss man's ladder, but you got dreams you never take away. You're losing both with a lot of your friends, waiting for the day your ship will come in and the tide's gonna turn and it's all gonna run you away. Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, barely getting by. It's all taken, there's no giving. You just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. 9 to 5, oh, they got you where they want you. There's a better life, and you think about it, don't you? It's a rich man's game, no matter what they call it, and you spend your life, but money is falling. 9 to 5, oh, more like 8 to midnight, yeah. And you just use your mind, and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive me crazy if you let it. 9 to 5, 8 to midnight, yeah. Checking papers, staying up late. Use your mind, and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive me crazy if you let it. 9 to 5, 9 to 5. Enough to drive me crazy if you let it. 9 to 5.
Next, the inimitable, and I mean that, Fred Huckey, performs a sketch entitled Venn Diagram. They say you can make anything with a 3D printer, you can't make Fred.
This on? Why, yes, it is on. Hello. Unlike the Iowa legislature, we here in Fairfield believe in compromise. And we believe that no two things are so different that you can't find some kind of common ground. By the way, before I get started here, I should mention that this looks like this because of help from Tina Breen. I just had a bunch of words on the screen and she said, we can make this better. So now it actually looks like Venn diagrams, the circles and the intersection of the set. So we'll get started here. fire drills. A set of fire drills. And we're trying to find something in common between that and free food. We found student engagement. See, some people did get that. Everybody tell me that's a bad joke, they wouldn't get it. Okay. You'll like this one then. The Subfinder program. It's not even the punchline. Staff members who avoid snack days. It seems like that would be a very small set. Hard to find some people to go with that one, but when you put these two together, you get people we've never met. Okay. How about into the classroom? Oh yes, that kid who sleeps through class. We hope this doesn't happen very often. We hope it's a very small set. And we're mixing it with getting an A. And I said at FHS, but that's just because that's where I work. It could be getting an A anywhere in the school system. When we put these two together, we get our mission statement, dreamers. Or at least the beginning of our mission statement. Dream, think, lead, and act. So I thought I'd start the next one with thinkers. There they are, thinkers. And just to make it a challenge, we went for uncompromising hardheads. Yeah, that's a little bit difficult because we know that uncompromising hardheads really aren't thinking. But we did find one. This guy. Okay, dream, think, leaders. Right? For this, decided to go with something we all want to do, save money for, and again I said FHS, I should have said FCSD, saving money for the school district. And what is the intersection of that set? There they go. Those who took early retirement, some of our best educational leaders. Dream, think, lead. You know, I thought this whole sketch would be dying, and I would be happy to get to this one, because this is my favorite one. Actors, and those who are excited for snow days in June. Yes, that is a very, very small set, but we did find one guy. And there he is, Olaf. Winter's the time to curl up and cuddle. Well, put me in summer and I'll be a happy snowman. All right, we're almost done. I'm gonna make fun of other people. We gotta throw me in here too. Mr. Hucky's trumpet and a power drill in the expansion. You can probably see where this is going. Yep, either one of them is that annoying noise at the break of day. Right? Uptown Funk, very popular song. I think a limited number of people might know this. You might have to ask somebody next to you to explain the joke at the end of this one. Taking smoke breaks from class, there are, I've heard some alternative schools where they actually get to take a smoke break. But at the high school, these two intersect at the fumes in the band room. Okay, I'll explain. For those of you who don't understand, during the expansion there was a time when the band room just filled up with smoke and shortened band class. I thought it was funny. That one was Ryder's idea. Okay. So here's what we're really here for. More money for our classrooms and a community of people who care. Yes, that set is the Fairfield Education Foundation.
Which is a very good segue, actually. because this next sketch, which is entitled Mario Brothers, after a completely incomprehensible game which I used to watch my children play, which I always thought had something to do with pasta, but apparently has nothing whatsoever to do with pasta. And I'm rather fascinated to watch this because it might actually explain it. But anyway, it gives me the opportunity while they're doing this to say a brief thing about how wonderful the foundation is and all the great things that it does, because that is, after all, why we're here, other than the minor thing of fun. And there will be, in the intermission, which is fairly shortly, there will be raffle tickets for sale. What does the foundation do? Well, I can read you its 4 mission statements because it's really rather good. Enhance learning opportunities, encourage creative and innovative educational programs, promote utilization of current technologies, and encourage and increase community involvement in our schools. That sounds a little dry, but the thing is, they actually do it in very practical ways with a donation of grants. And the grant history, so it's general grant history, which makes me think of the Civil War, but it's actually to do with the history of grants in this case. First grants were given in spring 1998, totaling $1,700. And in the 2014-15 school year, the total grants awarded were over $38,800. And that is the 5th year in a row that total grants for a school year exceeded $30,000. So this is a program. And there are several like that in Fairfield. I was on the Library Foundation board, another entity that does very good work fairly quietly. There are several in Fairfield that do this essential work to make the things that make this community strong and vibrant, and in this case particularly the education of our children, just more rich and more successful. And the community involvement is very key, especially when you're going through times where money is perhaps not as plentiful as it has been at other times. And those grants are becoming essential, not just some sort of icing on some sort of cake. Gifts to the foundation of any size are always very welcome. And I think, judging by the lack of frenetic activity to my right, that Super Mario, oh no, not Super Mario, just Mario. Is it Super? No? Nobody's nodding. It's just Mario Brothers. All right, Mario Brothers.
It's in another castle.
There are some people who just redefine the word cool. Tom Voorhees isn't one of them, but that was unkind. I've been in a number of shows with Tom. He's a man of extraordinary versatility and a voice that reminds me of Bing Crosby, but in a good way. And maybe a touch of Lee Marvin occasionally, so perhaps we'll see. This is Tom Voorhees singing Elton John's immortal Yours.
That's why they call it the Follies. You know, there are certain songs that have been written through time, and of course Elton John and Bernie Taupin wrote this song, and it has a lot of meaning to it. So there are so many ways that you can apply this song to loved ones, to people that you've lost, and what I'm feeling with this song today is I think about all of my students that I had, and I think probably being at the high school level and before I even got here and here, probably about anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 kids that over 33 years that I saw. And you know what? I know we can go into that age-old, teachers don't get into the business for the salary alone, and it's true, we don't. We get into the business because there are so many different rewards. And this is a song for all of those kids that I got the rewards from. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I were a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in the traveling show. Oh, I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. This is my song, yeah, this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they've got me quite cross, but the sun's been quite kind while I wrote this song.
Following an intermission of exactly 15 minutes, bells will ring. There are raffle tickets for sale in the foyer. There are treats of some kind out there which I have not investigated. So we'll see you back here in 15 minutes for the second half of the show. Thank you. Welcome back. I'd just like to give a message from the Foundation Board about their appreciation. I'll read it because it is really very clear. The board is greatly appreciative of everyone's support. Current and retired school personnel participating in the event, to those here enjoying the show. Special thanks to Stacey Wright and Tom Voorhees for their work in putting this show together. They put a lot of hours and effort into this and followed the great lead that Jerry Kunkel set previously. So let's give them a round of applause. Some people deserve the big introduction. I would like to introduce to you the Sultana of Sultry, singing Big Spender, Mary Rose Kinch. secretly wished to be professional dancers and take the stage. However, until today, they have lacked the confidence to dance in front of an audience. I find that very hard to believe. The fun-filled 3-minute dance routine, which indeed it was, showcases fun-sized teachers. Showing their moves to some of their favorite songs. That was fun. Fun. Yes, that's right. Our next piece is simply called Try. And I think they're more or less set up. This is a very beautiful song about basically following Shakespeare's old adage, to thyself be true.
Put your makeup on, get your nails done, curl your hair, run the extra mile, keep it slim so they like you. Do they like you? Get your sexy on, don't be shy, girl, take it off. This is what you want to belong, so they like you. Do they like you? You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to give it all away. You just have to get up, get up, get up, get up. You don't have to change a single thing. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try. You don't have to try. Get your shopping on at the mall, max your credit cards. You don't have to choose, buy it all, so they like you. Do they like you? Wait a second, why should you care what they think of you when you're all alone by yourself? Do you like you? Do you like you? You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to give it all away. You just have to get up, get up, get up, get up. You don't have to change a single thing. You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to bend until you break. You just have to get up, get up, get up, get up. You don't have to change a single thing. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try. No, you don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try. You don't have to try. You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to give it all away. You just have to get up, get up, get up, get up. You don't have to change a single thing. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try. You don't have to try. So take your makeup off, let your hair down, take a breath, look into the mirror at yourself. Don't you like you? 'Cause I like you.
called All About Books. And I think owes something to a song very similar. All About Bass by Washington Elementary faculty staff and students. And they're not quite ready. My kids went to Washington School, he says, desperately improvising. And it's not very far from my house. It's a very nice school. There's a big sign on it, Washington Elementary. I think they're ready now.
Yeah,
next is a song by Fred Huckey. And he says, The Sky. This is a song about living in Ireland. It was inspired on a family trip about 14 years ago. We were returning home on the road between Mount Pleasant and Fairfield. My son was 5 years old and in a car seat. As he looked out the window at the sunset, he said, "Don't you think that looks like part of heaven?" I wanted to remember the moment Iowa sunset through a child's eyes.
My first thought, when Stacy asked me to do this, was, well, I already did this song at Faculty Follies. It was back at the middle school. The famous one where Roger McComb put a peeps into the light fixture. And my second thought was, somebody asked for one of my songs. That never happens. And she even knows which one it is. She renamed it. So she calls it the car seat song. Living life here in Iowa, people are smarter than you think. We're not so flashy and we're not so rude, and we can still see the sky. A wife and kids, we're so conventional, steeped in our domesticity. We teach our children to love, and they love the sky. Oh, the sky is for flying, for rainbow stars and clouds. The sky is freedom and infinity. And it's somewhere up there that we imagine God. And it's such a pretty blue. From the car seat of a minivan, a 5-year-old can see it all. Don't you think that looks like part of a heaven? We look at the sky. Oh, the sky is for flying, for rainbow stars and clouds. The sky is freedom and infinity. And it's somewhere up there that we imagine God. And it's such a pretty blue. Sometimes I wonder if I'm missing life. The grass is greener somewhere else. And I can see the sunrise in my children's eyes with a look at the sky. They looked at the sky. Oh, they love the sky. We look at the sky.
Jimmy Fallon in your heart. Next, we have the evolution of dance. The ladies of Libertyville Elementary School are letting loose. Wow, that's a lot of alliteration. To provide the audience with a look back at some of the crazy dance fads that have come and gone over the years, from the chicken dance. Oh, I've lost the master now. I can't do that again. The YMCA. These ladies delight. Gangnam Style. Did I say that right? Gang. They'll do it.
One hop this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Chop, chop, real smooth.
Turn up your shoulder, you gotta kick. Turn up your shoulder. Teach me how to do. Teach me how to do.
Walk on Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Walk on Gangnam Style.
Wow. There's more to come, guys. Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls dance off. Sounds a little competitive to me. Anyway, that's what it is. I think I will take a strategic retreat.
You are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way. Tell me why it ain't nothing but a morning. Tell me why it ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way.
Two things to say about that. Sometimes short sight is an advantage. And if I wasn't a teacher, none of them to work undercover in the police force. Whoa, all right. Back to a known quantity, the Acapellas. Everybody wants to rule the world. Well, that certainly seems to be true. All right, the Acapellas.
Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even when we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's my only time. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule. There's a rule around the life won't find you. Lord, it is come tumbling down. Then you will be right behind you. So glad we almost made it. So sad they have to fade it. Everybody wants to live. All for freedom and for pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Well, yes, it's that moment you've all been waiting for. It is the raffle, or to be more precise, the drawing of tickets in the raffle. And I'm going to hand this over to other people. Isn't that wonderful? Who will now pull tickets, bring out revolving things. So get your raffle tickets ready to see whether you have won, which is what a raffle is all about. Is that enough covering nonsense? Good, good, I'll leave them.
Okay, we're going to start with the grand prize, $2,500. Dr. Knowles is going to do the drawing here on behalf of the Board of Education Foundation. I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Great turnout, great show. I want to thank Rustin and the staff Convention Center here. They've done a fantastic job. Also, all our volunteers, performers, and everybody that's it's been a terrific show. So, ready. Winner of the $2,500 grand prize, Shannon Cochran. Round of applause next for the $1,000 prize. Winner Winner of the 1,000 prize, Leanne Edgston. Last, the third one is for $500. Herman Hendrickson.
Well, that was short and sweet, particularly for certain people. Very sweet. So, this is becoming something of a tradition to have a song from Les Mis as the finale of Faculty Follies. And this year, it's a song entitled At the End of the Year. And when my wife Tina and I got married in October, she sprung a Les Mis flash mob on me. This one, at least I'm warned in advance. But I don't know what the lyrics are, so you'll have to listen very carefully because they're not the same as in the show.